far, because and I was speaking about this yesterday. I think it was maybe with just got to pick one and roll with it, because if you start to sort of cherry pick here and there, it can.
Careful. In a position right now where Daystar don't have to do a lot to really keep the pressure on 4 Angry Men. They don't want to overplay their hand. Ooh, Pecan with the prone around the corner. Lida completely caught off guard, and that's one of that two-prong approach that I mentioned now falling down. Darsley still with 3 Candelas, but without having that glass through the smoke. Wherever Darsley decides to commit, wherever he throws his utility, you won't have somebody to match any push on the other side. Seal still getting aggressive, will follow Rockstar. Got something there, but this two-man push between the Clash and the Ella. Got to give credit to 4 Angry Men for keeping it close and keeping these trades solid, but so long as this Clash is in the way, they're always going to face some difficulty, but hold on. TX suddenly backstabbing, finds 2. Now it is just Souffle left, taking a 1v1 on the Aqua Stairs, but the attacker can come and pinch from behind. Angle, but Pecan very leery of this, taking another fight with Rockstars. The Monty comes from the back. Excellent pinch by 4 Angry Men. Now looking to deal with some of these other players moving about the first floor. 417 ripping into the smoke through that soft wall. TX finding some good damage, though now the defenders coming from behind. Lida doing the most on this Monty right now. And as TX checks his flank, another one goes the way of 4 Angry Men. Might be a trade from Daystar, but 4AM have accomplished their mission. They've taken control of the site. Unfortunately, the defense has minimal options to retake from these vertical angles, especially with the Monty on board. It was always going to be difficult. Rockstar finds another through the angle in Bin Bin in a 1v3. That seems like it's a foregone conclusion.
Unfortunate position that Bin Bin finds himself in here. This was the player that was all the way on that top floor. We'll find one onto Rockstar. It isn't confirmed just yet. There we go. Double on the round, but to get the kills required from this point, Lida just needs to harass, just needs to be a pain with that shield, and can't give any angles up. 16 seconds on the clock, and now that final kill comes in. Gotti has to make a play, but look how far away he is, Lynx. He's absolutely not. He comes off the kit, though. Now time is not going to be a factor. There's not going to be enough of it left. I don't know.
Navigate around this. Smokes and Candelas going through. The Glaz and the Ying instead pushing in tandem rather than separate like last time. Ooh, the Yokai spots at the last second, but it's actually Lida to swing around the corner. Despite all the information, if Bin Bin is blinded, there's not a whole lot he can do. The Pecan on this flank, the attack's so focused, though falling to the players inside of the site. Pecan only gets 1. The flank isn't all that impactful in the grand scheme of things, but only in comparison to the excellence of the anchor players. A double for Pecan. His effort should not be undermined. Now it is Gotti in the 1v2. Not the powerful position that 4 Angry Men had in round 1. Working back with so little. Instead, the defense ready for this kind of push. Now a diffuser control in their hands. One of these smokes will go out as 2 players stacked behind the pillar. It's Pecan with
to rotate around. You're often required to be doing something elsewhere for the portion of the
slow pushing Monty, now instead rotating to the Blitz with quick entries by TX with that M59, but unfortunately Rockstar going down. Half clear not as solid as 4 Angry Men thought. Bin able to find some success walking out of Electro, could find another, losing a lot of HP, but not his life to TX. Unfortunately, those 6 shots run out quite quickly, and maybe going for another Zofia outside. Lida will land the trade. Now Darsley going down on the Blitz, another round that collapses for 4AM.
Devastating play there from Bin Bin. On that second floor again, he's had huge impact this time. It was the last man standing previously because everyone from 4 Angry Men circumnavigated the roamers and went directly to the site. Now with Lida getting that kill, it really opens things up. The pacing so far has been quite good from 4AM. You look at the time, there's still 50 seconds left on the clock here for them to work with, and they've still got some toys to play with. Got a couple of tin openers if required. It looks like everything should be open that's needed to be right now. Gotti's got a really nice position at the moment. Lida with the kit, they just need to try and buddy up.
Ooh, but Gotti's going to push in quite heavily, fighting the Ella around the corner. They buddy up at the last second, but just because of the angle of that reinforcement, the angle Gotti was at, it's difficult to get that trade, given Lida's...
A little bit of a run outside here. He's got a really good idea of where at least 2 players are, and I think if he's patient, he might find one. Oh, gets burned there! That's the power of the DMR. Darsley, welcome to the scoreboard. That's his first of down here, though. And there's no vert that's been made to start to deal with him. With only 35 seconds here, it's not going to be very easy to make anything happen, especially with TX now falling. All the attackers arguing around this warehouse area at the minute, but they've not done anything about the vert.
Now you still have Seal watching this important position, though Lida moving from the opposite side. Player around the corner, he'll call Gotti into position, and that allows him to go for the plant. Neither Azuki or Seal in a position to get this vertical play from below, and with no C4s either, that's a big frag by the Ella, but Lida's already got out of the building. Can sit there with his shield and maybe peek around the corner. Not a lot of good secondary utility to deal with this either. Only exception is the Gershmot. Azuki could throw that out the window, throw it on one of the doors just to try and act like a pseudo lifeline. But all of Daystar have retreated quite far back. One player outside the breach, one player outside the window, and another player is so far back, I don't even know where he is. This guy's prone on the top floor, probably looking through some vertical angle onto the diffuser. They have been waiting so patiently. They want to guarantee this tied half. And with 3 seconds remaining, and Daystar haven't even attempted the counter defuse. That's a nice frag by Seal, but we are now officially beyond the pale. Gotti will confirm it, and 4AM guarantee themselves a 3-3 half. If we take a look, it's still a bit of a linear push on the generator side. We got 3-4 players over here. TX lurking up to that breach. Pyjamas is going to hear this player on the prone. Might even catch him swinging around the corner. The Nomad not ready. And Daystar begin this push with a 5v4. Again, Lida just walking in. No additional angle, no massive disruption. Darsley threw some Candelas and some smokes. But once he gets hit by the Yokai, he's stunned completely, shield exposed. And the Blackbeard goes down. Basically minimal effort by the defense. Rotating another Yokai over as 4AM might have another shot at this. Some 2 different shotguns and Rockstar holding this long angle. It could work with Soufflé in a perfect position to deny the flant. Darsley ready for it. Soufflé gonna play passive, halfway gone. The Demo should spot it once it goes down, sees the Yokai, takes it down, and another bite at the apple. Seal in the meantime will get a very important kill as this puts all of the pressure on Gotti. Actually, never mind. The other Yokai's alive. I thought it got taken down in the process. Both of the Echo's primary utility are remaining. Daystar with a 3v2, make that a 3v1 man advantage, and it is all tied up on Nighthaven.
Daystar just quite literally have to wait until the opportunity.
Discussing, well, the players and the coach. Don't exclude the coach. With that being done, the players are talking about the bans they want to do, and you hear Eden talking about Dokkaebi a lot. Dokkaebi. Have somebody sneak up those garage stairs and try and go for a flank. TX getting quite aggressive on the garage single door, but there's a player like all the way outside, upside down repel. Instead, it's Azuki from down below who gets a line onto the Azami, and while there are 2 players in garage, is going to put a lot more pressure on Gotti, who himself is trying to get aggressive on IT, and now with him down, I think we're going to see quite a lot of presence in this area, Ali.
4AM a challenge, so they're even going to start to open the wall at the top of that catwalk as well. Big play required here from Lida, and he will find one onto Binbin. It needs to be the first of a couple, though.
Needs to be the first of a couple, indeed. It's only a 4v3. One thing you can see, Pecan all the way on the backside, so as opposed to 4AM on their attack, we've got a bit of a backstab, but Lida doing his best to deal with the front. And that leaves 2 players in garage, but only a 1v1 on the backside. This is a must-win fight for Pecan. The defense is going to be so much more scattered if he can win this, but if Rockstar can give them this peace of mind, we can even see them double up, but he just wins it first out the gate. Framing head level with the F2, wins it within the first 10 shots. But again, the alternative angle falls. They leave Azuki by himself, and now they're in the same position as before. Doubled up, the same angle. The defenders can watch both of these positions. And now Soufflé in the 1v2, not a whole lot, even with the information. Lida has completely bullied them at the beginning, and Darsley finishes it at the end.
Plenty here, especially the Snake. Can't believe it's the first time we're seeing Snake played today, by the way. For how much hype and talk there has been about this operator. I mean, well, it makes sense that they get first blooded inside of the first minute.
Well, and it's funny. We did see him one time earlier, but he literally was so focused on a roamer on the top floor. I think we cut him for like literally 0.5 seconds. We're like, this guy's not doing anything. And then we just left. So Snake has had a very minimal impact today, to your point. And now with Dokkaebi also seemingly going down next, I mean, this is already a rough start for such powerful operators. Zero, though. Hey, out of the 3 intel operators, who's the one who gets a kill? My man.
Openers when attacking basement. I mean, there's plenty of things that we could just... We need 20 minutes to really sort of dissect this. That was some great nade usage. If you're going to use one, you may as well use 2. Guarantees the kill on Darsley and drop a lot easier.
Continuing vertical angles as well, trying to isolate this Azami, pushing Lida back further underneath the cargo stairs. Seal finding them. Daystar have been working these past 20 seconds so perfectly. From the nade play to the vertical angles, making every second count. But then Soufflé drops with the diffuser, falls to Rockstar, and it all might still be squandered. Binbin picks it back up, but with only 1 player left alive, he's got to drop down off those vertical angles, which gives flexibility to the defense. Gotti with an important victory, and unfortunately Daystar, despite how well they played the past 40 seconds, the final 10 are what matter most, as 4AM continue their streak. For that full clear, they're not going for some quick ying play or some quick execute play, and you can see that the defense is completely ready for that. Darsley
in the bottom of warehouse at the moment, has a chance, but just can't land the finishing blow. The F2 A little bit brutal on the recoil. Oh, the time, and Lider pops the corner at the perfect time. Bin finally starts to get something going here for Daystar, but it feels like it could be too late as he too falls to Gotti.
It's too late for Seal as well. Finds the angle, but also falls to that MP7. 6-3 now. It's just more like this. I mean, I think we're probably going to be thrown to a break in the next 4 minutes. You can pick your poison and probably find something effective, but instead they're trying to, I think, go for another full clear.
This looks like a little bit of a basic lineup, doesn't it? And that's one of the oldest tricks in the book, isn't it? The C4. Since the introduction, not even pocket reinforcements if this connector wall wants to get closed up as well. But Gotti seems happy to take the challenge on there at the minute. And what a shot! He's going to land onto Bin. Still with the option to try and close.
So much focus on Lida, and yet Gotti, on 1 HP, still thinks he's got something to offer. You can see the plan, play the contact, play the trade. He pops up and gets a Zuki anyway. 16-5, as in all likelihood, that'll be the scoreline he ends on in a 2v4. 4 Angry Men have the angles, they have the utility, they have the game plan on lock. And while Pikanzu might have 3 EE1Ds, they might have 2 nades between them. Given everything 4AM have in store, seems difficult. Though a good read by Seal. Sends that nade into the perfect position behind the bomb chassis. Great late round read from the IQ. Now trying to push in through the smoke as more health, more time is bled from the attacking team. 4AM continuing their game plan of holding still.
I really like how 4AM are playing this. They are not trying to overcomplicate the point. They're not moving at all. They're just holding really deep power positions. Lider gently peeking here onto electrical. There's no option for Daystar right now.
No option whatsoever as both Pikanzu and Seal now starting to move towards half HP. Pikanzu prone in the middle of a doorway, more offering himself up for sacrifice than actually making a full attempt. What a showing by 4 Angry Men on
from the team that was enabling a lot of those plays. Let's see what we end up. Understand that to some degree. Things like Moto, things like Basement can start to get a little bit.
The case right here, DarkZero even with 2 mute jammers in pocket. Just hoping if there is some vertical destruction down below. Oh, Lida! One of the more aggressive clash plays I've seen in a bit. Sets it up, gets the pre-fire onto the player on IT Breach. And we have attackers dropping like flies. Pecan finished off. A double kill for this mute, and you can see that maybe Daystar underestimated the impact of this mute clear. I'm not going to say the Thermite underestimated the impact of Lida. I don't think anybody would have expected the Clash to do that right on IT Breach. Firebolt's going down, unfortunately a little bit too late as Lida just backs up. Down in the process, be getting a little too aggressive given the 4v2 position.
We're entering, it's going to be vulnerable inside of radio. We are going to see TX as well, a little bit vulnerable over toward that catwalk side of things. Fortunately, he's going to land his shots. Now this should just be a layup.
Just appreciating the small things, as we'll likely have 40 seconds. No, Seal actually will jump in the building, so I appreciate that. Sound Q will reveal himself to Gotti. Ooh, goes down as well. Site is actually empty, by the way, and Seal does have the diffuser. I believe Darsley's still up on the top floor. One player's in oil pit. The ironic thing is I still think Seal's going to go down, but he probably could have... I'm not saying he should have, but he probably could have sprinted in and just put that diffuser down. He'll begin to do so as the defense moves forward, but they're all moving quite slowly. We will enter the post plane in this process. Both Darsley and TX on top of each other. No way! They line up. Lacking it could be a bit of a problem depending on where the Blitz decides to push from. You can see currently Seal looking to get his, and does get his 5th kill of the map so far. 1v1 on red stairs with only 47 seconds to go. Things need to break away a little cleaner for the attacking team. They're stuck outside these windows, stuck outside these rooms, trying to take 1v1s and winning them, to their credit. But still in the disadvantage given the loss of Pecan at the very beginning. So Seal will hop deeper into construction, looking over towards logistics. With 3 Bs, he can actually get quite a bit of information and clear out quite a few positions.
Seal has really navigated around TX, and I don't think that he's got any idea as to where Ella is playing right now. Ooh. Brilliant flank in through construction. He was just tucked inside a cache, and there was no idea, there was no indication from Seal that he had any clue what was going on. TX is going to be able to move around the corner. It doesn't come down to that. Lider, in fact, credits.
As they're rotating back, that's where things might get a bit tricky. At the moment, they start trying to mount this pinch. Deathmark tracker on the player playing close to logistics, but again, 4AM start things off on the right foot. He still gets through. Gotti now, I believe, on 18 kills between the 2 maps, and potentially looking for number 19 as he swings around the corner. Massacres Azuki with that SMG-11. Now, Seal dropping down. Not really joining Souffle, but Daystar And another disadvantage, and one in which I don't think 4AM want to give away, with the Goyo sitting close on red stairs. Just swings around, and well, that's that.
These players just look unleashed, don't they? I think a lot of these players end up playing on... It was ludicrous.
It was one of those things where it's like...
They're going to get the drone up onto Catwalk. They'll move through bedroom and cash and construction and all those different areas, and they'll start to make a bit of a play from there. Speaking of plays, heavy stack up here inside of the dirt tunnel. What a C4. Gotti. He's going to get caught out there. Seal with the backup, working in behind Bin. Darsley down as well, and I don't think TX...
Like, power through that guy and to put, like, insurmountable pressure on them because there were, like, 3 to 4 people all lined up. And you can do that if it's, like, very spread out, but they all ended up funneling themselves in dirt and basically all lined up for the Blackbeard. 2 of them got down. Even double-checking this information, utility flying through. This should be a kill. Yes, indeed it will. Azuki around the corner with the 417, and unfortunately for TX, that gamble does not pay off.
Unfortunately, someone coming from that angle, but you've got to hit the right time, and you have to be looking in the right place at the right time. And with so much going on, it was just a bit too tricky. Gotti. For the player that is seemingly down dirt, this is more typical Siege right now. I really hope Rockstar doesn't peek this. Oh, okay. No, Rockstar, take it back. You can peek that all you like.
Oh, he very nearly did not get out of that. Now down to men that they have made them move. They've read their positions, and they have really been the architects of their own fate, and will continue to be so. Pecan walks down and moves in through chain. One player just spotted with his back turned. Easy fodder for the assault rifle. Rockstar now pushing deeper into Jim, but on 1 HP again. This should be an easy trade for the attacking team. Looking to get some of these flashes. Catches a line on the ace just very briefly, but only so much they can do. Very good trade by Daystar. Guarantee themselves a tie half, and keep in mind,
I've seen a bit of a pause out for Daystar. Another Lion scan come in. That's going to be the cue to call. They're going to make the movement off the back of that, and Bin doesn't waste any time. Souffle elsewhere is able to grab a kill onto Darsley, and TX left in a really tough spot now, almost on top of one another inside of the site.
Oh, this has just been a perfect 3-2-1 from Daystar. God, he can't even get the one on the run out. Very real flawless round possibility right here as Azuki's only down. Certainly get it. Still on the table. TX trapped over on the Logi side. Downing that Lion will give Daystar some of that information, but as he pushes closer, finishes off another. Souffle domed inside of Logistics. Only 1 play remaining on that side, though. 2, technically 3 stacked around the gym position. You can pick up the line if you so wanted. Not another 1v4. No, and it will not. Daystar winning the half, up 4-2, favoring the team switching to the defense. Again, heard some more information. They find themselves in a deficit. Curious what they can offer on Clubhouse, and also curious how Daystar might... Annoying setup from Daystar that has worked absolutely perfectly so far, because 4AM will not be moving into the site until we are in the red zone. Lida's feet hit the floor. Rockstar dashes in through the ash wall. It's Daystar who get the first pick, maintain their advantage, but Rockstar, undaunted by these odds, might just put that diffuser down as the attackers on this long line fall 1 by 1. And Bin ready for it, gets on the counter defuse, and Daystar widen their lead to 3.
Arcades on the top of those red stairs. I don't know if he knows about the player close. TX with an attempt from below as well, and the shotgun at close range. He's going to get them both here if he's not careful. Don't turn your back! You can't do that! Oh no, still alive and in the fight. As TX starts to burn through these players. Darsley, he's joined into the action as well. Souffle is the last soul survivor through construction. The pace has been knocked out of the round. The diffuser is cold on the ground. This is a kill that does need to be found, and TX is going to give the game away.
We'll give the game away. It might line up these next ones, but no, Gotti shuts him down. Maybe if Souffle's got a bit more HP.
Breach opening, that's it. Kind of like this from Gotti, though. Just trying to zone out Bin.
Oh, zoning out Bin so well. Oh, that's actually genius. You throw the track stingers up because not only do they land in damage, they also slow the player. So if they get trapped, they are infinitely more likely to die to that nade. I really like that from Gotti. Rockstar finding a Souffle rotating through. As something I was going to mention, the Azami not actually playing Rafters. It was the Thorn in that position. Instead, Souffle trying to get aggressive.
Kanzu's position, they saw him drop. It's just a question of where they come back up from. I can't believe that Darsley has died to that after shots already going in onto Lida. Seal can now start to move up those red stairs, and it's very doable here. I know that Pikanzu's on super low HP, but those Shumikas, they're going to zone out so much time right now for Daystar.
especially with Seal lacking any toxic canisters, he can stay gun up and also make use of that time denial. Oh, a double from the smoke. Gotti having the most impact and really some of the only impact for 4AM in round 9. It started off so well with that Rafters clear, now with 10 seconds remaining, no diffuser control. He's got to find both of these kills. One player pushing up, but Seal takes him down. Daystar continue their lead.
Shock you to learn that that didn't happen. So we need something that's maybe a little bit more concise. And
nice.
I like that clear to start things off. Seal a little bit out of position, it's fair to say. We didn't see the Azami playing that.
You've got the Shimikas, you've got the smoke canisters, but if you want to compare it as another player goes down, if you want to compare it to that last defense, it was so much more bullets. The only surviving remnant of that first round defense we saw that pushed 4AM to a 15-10 second time. And now he's Bin so focused on the push in through Moto, might not be ready for this one. As the striker moves up straight close to the wall, finally spots the Tachanka, peeks in deep as Bin finds both, somehow turns around and takes the player down on Moto. But in the 1v2, the attack instead has completely succeeded on the Arsenal side. Bin must turn his attention that way, sees the buck for just a second. Might have landed the shot, but unfortunately the uniform blending. As the Selma attaches to the wall around the corner, spots someone just on the opposite side of that soft wall. Can't quite land the shot, so he takes another chance at it. Oh, but he bounces around the head. Could have been a 5v3, but still a slim advantage established for the attacking team. Pushing down through Church. Gotti trying to replicate the success in blue that he found last time, but is Azami actually playing here, yet still focused on Moto, needing to do double duty, worried about the striker and worried about Moto. Could find themselves distracted as Seal looking for kill 14. Has increasing pressure put on him as defenders are dropping like flies. Now the Azami hits the floor too. Gotti makes 2 fall due to the assault rifle, and now Azuki in a 1v4 with the shield already on the ground will not find anything. Zero, seeing if they hop in. Not a lot of utility to deal with this. No nades, maybe some flashes to blind them, but Seal's kind of stuck in this position. Azuki going crazy inside of the bedroom right now. C4 to damage Lida, only a little bit of a tap. TX trying to go for a lurk, but Pecan's ready for it, still goes down. Banshee will spot him, but the attack losing more players. Daystar seem like they'll hold on, as it might be closer than they would have liked, but 7-5 is still a victory. And Daystar send us to Chalet to decide who stays and who goes.
Big performance there.
But going forward to play Los in the blower bracket later today. At least, well, we won't have completely hard breach to now bans.
Yay, and we don't get feeling like he was going to be the roamer that was going to be targeted first. And his teammate has given him a slightly easier time of things. Rockstar, very self-sufficient to hold there over on the library side of things. And with another kill coming in for Darsley, this attack's starting to fall a little bit flat.
To the defense, very little presence over by Fireplace, which in part is likely because Rockstar could challenge down in that area. So it ends up being quite a narrow push in through windows, in through doorways, resulting in which 80% of the bodies that have dropped have been Daystars. Though finally, Seal will start with 1. Now that a 1v4 like the start of Clubhouse, now we're in a position where it might need to be a 1v5 to start a Chalet. And I've certainly learned from my habit of calling rounds too quickly. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here on this one, but stuck outside at bathroom window with a shotgun around the corner. Not a recipe for a clutch of any kind.
No, Rock, he know. With the way that he just stopped dead,
I have to think he does.
You've got an inkling at this point, haven't you? He's likely going to be able to hear TX just on those library stairs. But again, it's going to be Gotti to start things up. Seal needs to land this shot, but gets caught out by the Grismot. 2 for Souffle as well. So things a little bit more equal, but still with an advantage.
He can push up later. This is going to be deadly for Bin, but the C4 will reveal his position, and he goes down in the process. So Bin finding an important angle with 40 seconds remaining, and now on a 2v2. The utility might be lacking, but he's got information on 1, even flicks onto him, but can't land the headshot. That might be a different round at that point. But as Souffle moves and crouch walks in, TX is ready for it. There is a Dokkaebi lurk, and we've not only not seen much impact, we've barely even seen the operator over the course of the whole series. But now we see something completely different. Not only Azuki taking down God.
A little bit thinner. I like this play from TX. The call is going to give the game away. I wonder if he tries to play a bit more aggressively on this, or he isn't going to be given the chance to. He might be Warden, but you've still got a shield and a pistol running you down there like a dog. We're seeing the kills start to come in thick and fast here. Azuki been a big player so far over the course of this round. 3 kills, Rockstar. He might have the DMR, but he's still 1 versus 4 here, Links. I don't think he's going to find the first. But Kanzu there. Clean.
And was just a brilliant move for Daystar, and an attack that could not have gone right as Pecan.
The timing of that must have been quite fine. Pecan's like already running around there.
He still gets him.
Wake up a little bit, Gotti. Like, you can't just be full sprinting round there. You've got to give it a little bit of a wiggle peek first. Pecanzu will be taken out there as Rockstar is good. That drone needs to be effective.
Needs to be effective with one player around the corner. You can see DarkZero trying to draw the attention and seems to do so successfully, as it's not even Kitchen that gets the kill. It's Lyda who walks down. SMG-11 in hand. Takes down one, though the DMR is good for the next and even the second. Two line up for Azuki. The Lyda holds on. Shotgun around the corner. I know exactly who was that. The nade goes over to the right, and it's a 50-50, and he ends up coming up wrong. Rockstar in a different position. Azuki caught in the toxic gas. Lyda's third kill of the round, 5th overall, but Seal gets one. Knows the next one maybe can land this pre-fire. Rockstar prone, waiting on the floor, and Daystar tie things. Door, and he might have found a gap, but as he hops up, the ACOG scope ends up covering the Valkyrie. No clear kills, broken the way of the attack just yet, as there's still bleeding bodies in the process. Bin, oh, a hell of a flick onto Lyda. Can confirm the next one with the pistol. And now Daystar have something. Blackbeard immediately repelling in, can't quite land the shots on the player retreating over to the black wall. Brendan, quite a quick defuse plant. It's not the Blackbeard with the kill. How does he find that?
It's beautiful. The cutoff, getting somebody on that big window, cutting the sight in half, and as soon as the Blackbeard comes in, bang, body starts to fall. Little bit of an overheat, I think, from Bin. Rockstar's 1 HP expectation ever so slightly. It's still a pretty significant advantage for Daystar. We've lost out on the Toxic Babe canisters, and we're losing engagements like that. Oh dear, it will be cleaned up by Rockstar, as he just seems to be the janitor for this round. Gotti finding a little bit of success here as well. It's only his 2nd kill of the game so far, but he too will be cleaned up. A 2 versus 2, but look at this HP advantage for Daystar.
Yeah, so close around the corner. Surely the 417 wins that. No, it's the 556 that gets the job done. But what a player remaining. TX down below with the Solus, made an impact grenade to stave off the first defuse plant, and now can go on the hunt for the second. Though again, neither with the diffuser at the moment. Spots one through the floor, can't get it. That's his 2nd impact grenade gone. So the rest of this will have to be off the Specchio scanner and shooting it through the floor. Souffle now putting it down. Spots the player on the hatch, and Seal shuts it down. Great 2v2, and Daystar. We'll say very different vibes, a bit more jokes for Daystar, but at the same
laughing and joking, isn't there?
But at the same time,
We affectionately like to call the Monty and our Monty players, because they can just sort of bear down onto people, very similar to the way that they are doing onto Kanzu right now. Darsley is going to find the first kill, Rockstar the second, starting to chain some together here, as this slight extension, maybe it's tried to be held onto for too long by Daystar, and they've not given it up quick enough.
Not giving it up quick enough, and now 2 players on blue stairs. This might be the end of the round right here. Another one found. Deimos with the nade and the revolver take down another. Surely they know about this Thorn. You can see Souffle trying his best to draw the attention, but it's a flawless round for 4 angry men. Round blue stairs, but they both retreat very quickly. Lyda anticipating some kind of push, though the smoke will actually facilitate the defense's retreat. They'll also enable the blitz to push up. Attack finding more success. All 3 Selmas were either shot or blown up by the defense. And
a flank drone right now. Gotti, the only player that can save this day.
Easy.
And he will do just exactly that. It's a boring job, flank watch, but sometimes it can be rewarding, especially when you catch out a defender like that.
Sure, you're losing the Capital builds. Actually, if you look at it, there's very little utility remaining for 4AM. But they have that advantage to compound. But, ooh, Seal deciding to get aggressive. Such a big player throughout this map, this series as a whole. These 2 days as a whole could find another, but no. Rockstar creeping up. Good for quite a few kills this round. I believe a double for both him and Gotti, and 4 angry men. His
teammate that's just stuck in behind the half wall right now with basically nowhere to go. Bin's best hope right now is to get away with 1 kill at the very best.
At best hope is to get the refrag at this point. Oh, an attempt at a flank from Souffle, doesn't find it. Bin swings out, but again, it gets traded in the process. That clash aggressing for so long might end up biting Daystar. Really is going to be top to bottom. Reloading. The defense still has control of it, but even the Aruni's been pushed back. She can fight an angle with that DMR, but lacking the control. You wanted to get that Solus into position. Now you can't. Now Solus is the only one left, defending the site rather than retaking it, rather than playing some off spot. She's the lone defender. And any reaction from Daystar,
it can be a very difficult spot to be in. Likewise, we saw Pikanzu
So the Monty drops down. Human drone applying a little bit of passive pressure to these defenders. Then the Bearing 9 to follow up. Rockstar good for one. Can't even land the trade. He gets both of them. That's just extra credit. At that point, he didn't need to do it. There were 3 players in that room.
Round like a tin. Round number 10. It's not going to be easy to come back from that, especially when you've got Lida on that Monty that's going to start bearing down here. Gotti grabs one over onto Binbin. I mean, Lida can just basically push through and give exact coordinates as to the location of these final couple of players. Deathmark Tracker going out, a plant to secure the round, even though it's 5 versus 2, not taking any chances. Darsley from there on the corner. The plant will be stopped, however, but it's still a 1 versus 4.
Still 1 versus 4 and still 1 minute 8 seconds remaining, and the final Deathmark Tracker goes out. So any kind of impact Souffle might have had, it won't be found here. Got to wait a little bit longer. Got to wait for that tracker to run out, but the Monty now rotating over, blocking his entrance, his path of ingress up the blue stairs. Will hopefully knock that shield back. There we go. That's something. 1v3. I'm not calling rounds early. I learned my lesson earlier. So I'll hear him out on this one. One player, I believe, to his right on the library side, or might have rotated out. Yeah, Gotti prone, looking through the castle barricade. The other 2 players more in the bedroom position will be taken down. 4 angry men now, 4 rounds. Now, if you want to see Daystar win these next 2 rounds, push it to OT. The fact that you've got 2 attackers, one of which kind of important, put below 50% this early on. Ooh, and Lida even ADSing. Caught out by Souffle, though. Gotti quick with that trade. Now looking for the next. Another player on low HP. The defense going to support as well. Azuki should be able to win that. Win the next as well. Finishes the player he softened up earlier. And T actually was going for this flank. Telegraphed it so long ago to us. He's able to confirm the kill on the downed player, but still taken down from below. Binbin quick with that Scorpion. And Azuki good for 3. 50% of the job done.
Defenders to play up there. I think the Daystar are thinking about this in levels. They've got players even below now with C4s ripped and ready to try and work through that hatch potentially. Big kill there from Azuki. Not taking any chances. Will send his C4 out, but gets caught in his own Zoto.
Oh, and they find the next player inside of the site. 4 angry men good for 1. It seemed like with how many protocols there were, Daystar were destined to win this one, but Rockstar somehow found a way in. 4AMF somehow found an advantage, but with intel on this diffuser with 10 seconds remaining, oh, it falls too short! He doesn't do a lick of damage to Rockstar, but Daystar still have some fight. Leveled it to a 3v3, but because of that failed C4, 4AM can now back out. Hold this long angle on the breach. 2 players in fireplace, but a player locked down right around the corner. And so Pikanzu pushes deeper. 1 player up top, 1 player down below, but Darsley takes him. And Souffle in the 1v2 caught on ADS and can't flick in time. 4 angry men finish things 5 rounds on.
4 a.m. move on. I'm here with Lida after a historic win for a team here coming from the CN League. What is this experience like for you guys coming from the CN League to the international stage, winning a game for the first time?
请问你现在是什么感受呢？你们是在中国众多队伍之中第一个晋级去下一个阶段的队伍，那你是什么感受呢？
So this is the first game we won in major, our first major. So we feel very good. Like we feel confidence when we do the prepare. We believe that we can win this match. So so we just like feeling very good now. So we will do the prepare for next match and to get in the phase 2 and try our best.
What has been working really well for you guys as a team? What's been one of your strengths?
那你们成功的秘诀到底是什么呢？
I think so as you guys know, the siege in China is banned for a long time. But like in the team, we played like 10 years or like 11 years. We kind of like experience. And like we have Eden and Gotti to support us. They are like a good coach and a good player. They have experience, so they help us to do the prepare to enemy's team. So yeah, I think yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. We'll go over to Intero and Jesse as we get ready for our next best of 3.